All right, very well. Good evening, everyone. It's 7:03. This is Celso Batalha, and it's my first time that I'm trying to use um, Canva's chat room. And I know I have Thomas Hemingway in there. I can't find a microphone for the chat room, so I'm not sure if I can chat in there. I can type, I can send messages, but I can't see microphones and any other um, tools for the chat besides typing. So I asked Thomas already to go to the Zoom. In the Zoom, I have Maria, at least I had Maria Kowalski. Oh, Thomas is there. Thomas is there. So, Thomas, can you hear me? But Maria is not there anymore. She left. Oh, Maria is back. How come Maria? I saw Maria's there. Oh, Maria's back now. Okay, Maria Kowalski is there, and Thomas is there, and I'm there. And what I'm gonna do, and this is being taped, so behave yourself. At least this Zoom will allow us to stay here for I think 30 minutes. So let's at least this week, which is the first week of class, try um, Zoom. And if it doesn't work, we can try to go back to CC, Confer, which I'm more familiar with. But basically, let me share my screen. Before I start, do you guys have any question you'd like to ask? And so for you guys to say anything, you have to enable your microphone. Maria Kowalski has microphone, and Thomas has microphone. So no questions asked. Everything is okay. Your micro here, according to what I can see here, your video is off, but not the microphone. But I can't hear any of you. And I have my sound enabled. Tom Nguyen is there. Tom, you have a microphone and you have a video. Can you say something? So Maria can hear me. That's good. That's an improvement. Yeah, but somehow you can't speak. Although now Tom is and Thomas is out. Okay, so let's see how they go. And so I will share the screen. Although before I do that, do you guys have any question that you might want to ask? Well, to ask question, I have to have the microphone. It doesn't seem to hear you guys. Should be able to hear you. Anyway, no, I will. I'm taping these and I will upload in Canvas. So let me bring the screen. So once you access Canvas, this course is not in Moodle anymore, it's in Canvas. This is the opening page, and then you go in here, and then you should be able to forget about orientation for now. I would like you guys to start working on the course. So I think I already mentioned previously, and if you did orientation, you know what's going on. In the quizzes, all the possible quizzes in this course, the homeworks are required. So I'm going to open and make available the direct access to the quizzes. But they all have due date, as you can see. So homework number 1 and number 2 will be closed on June 27. And then you can have an overview of what's going to be closed. So one day after, we close homework number 3. And then on July 7, in June 30th, we close homework number 4. So all the closing dates are given, and so it's easier for you to follow that. So there you go, all the way to the last one. Or you can go to modules. And then, as I mentioned in the orientation, so each chapter is devoted to a couple of days. So now we are June 23rd. We should be finishing chapter 2. And chapter 3 is going to be focusing on June 24, which is tomorrow, and Friday, and Monday. See that? So every single 2 days is one chapter, and then you should time yourself. Now, all these homeworks, they are presented as quizzes. All these homeworks, they will be reopened in the last week of class. So even if you can't complete them, don't worry. You just keep on working on the course as much as you can. So homework is 5% of your course grade. Now another aspect of the course, and that gives you 15% of your course grades, are called discussions. So right now there is a discussion that is going to be closed on June 27. So discussions, once they are closed, they are closed. They don't open anymore. It's not like homework. And discussion are such that there is always something for you to hear, or for you to think about it, some seed, and then you post comments, and then they reply to you. See that? So it's a post and a comment, a post and a comment. So I recommend that you work on these discussions in the beginning of the week. They always close. Let me show you. So the discussion number 1 closed on June 23rd. And the next one is going to be closed on July 5th. And that is about eclipses. And then the following one in 11, and then 18, and then 25, and then we are done. So if you are done with the scale of the universe, I would recommend start, putting some information about eclipses. So for instance, I don't have anyone posting anything with respect to eclipse yet. And certainly Doppler effect even less. It's about it's a clip from the Big Bang Theory And then I ask you guys to talk about that and discuss that. So the point of discussion is to have you guys talking to me and not to be so much isolated, which quite often happen in online classes. So discussion is pretty much 10% of your course grade. So yes, you gotta do it. So we saw homeworks, we saw discussions, and if we go back to the module, um, tons of extra credit. So this extra credit, they will add to a maximum number of points, and I will scale that to 10% of your course grade. So this is in addition to any grade you have in this course. So at the end of the summer, you made, let's say, I don't know, 72%, which is a C, and then I will add up this extra credit normalized by 10%. So let's say if you got 2 or 3 points, that's great. That will give you a B letter grade instead of a C letter grade. So it's difficult to get a full score in extra credit because it's a lot of work. But if you have the time, you should try. It's a nice way to keep you in the course. Okay. And the last type of assessments we have, not the last, is the midterms. So the midterms will be online, and their dates are given: July 1st, July 12th, and July 22nd. So these midterms, they are usually done in 1 hour, but they will be open 24 hours. And once you start it, you have 1 hour to complete. You cannot start, close, and try to attempt at some other time. I will allow a second attempt. Of course, you're not going to get the same answer, the same questions a couple of days after. So that will give you some time to even improve your grades. The way it works, you do a second time, and the software will pick up the highest score of the 2 attempts. So it's always good to try again. And then our final exam, which is face-to-face on July 28th. This is a Thursday at 10 a.m. in the room AD 143, which is in the Math and Science Tutoring Center or Resource Center. Now, there is also an moon observation that is required, 15% of the course grade. I'm thinking twice if I will keep it. And the reason is summer is going by too quick, and I still have students adding to the course, and the entire observation must be done in 1 week. So I might come up with something different, and perhaps I will totally take this out of our assessments. Pretty much that's my take as of this moment. Chapter 2. So chapter 2. So pretty much that's it. So the navigation through the course is done that way. You have the opening page, and from there you can go to the chat room, but chat room will allow you to just text me. Thomas is marked as being there, but I don't have a video or sound in there, and I can't hear you guys either, so that's funny. The grades features, I haven't used this yet, but I hope to start using pretty much over the weekend, and have any. And in fact, I can't do over the weekend. I would do use these grade features after June 27, which is Monday, when homeworks will start closing, and then I try to update as more assessments get to be closed. So you should go to your grade features to find where you are in the course. And I guess that's it. The syllabus, if you click on syllabus, yeah, now it's complaining. I think I'm using too much CPU in this computer. I was running something, and now it's kind of slow. Let me show you now. Stop share and see if you guys have any question to ask. Oh, but you can't type. I mean, I believe you can type. Can't you type? Lock meeting, lock screen, play, enter, exit, mute participant. Yeah, I don't have anybody with the camera except me. Thomas' camera is not there, but everybody's supposed to have a microphone. Okay, so let me bring sharing of a screen. So this is a software that helps you understand SkyMotion. It's called Starry Night software. There is a version, similar software that you can download for free. It's called Stellarium. So if you are interested in learn more about night sky, what type of objects are in there, Stellarium is a good pick, and I will post links in Canvas to this website, and then you can download and make use of it. But for instance, so what I'm showing here is June 23rd, 2016, the current time 7:20, and I can, for instance, come over here and speed up the rate in which time flows. So as you can see, time is changing faster now. See that? And it's getting dark a little bit faster. And then you can see that some sky objects, that could be a planet. Let me see what it is. That's Mars. There's another planet right here. I think it's Saturn. Let's stop this. That's Saturn right there. Mars is over here. So the sky objects, and because we are in the northern hemisphere, if you face south, so this S stands for south, and if you look to your left-hand side is your eastern horizon, and if you look to your right-hand side is your western horizon. So in the northern hemisphere, again, if you face south, the sky objects, they have a tendency of rising in the eastern sky, which is to your left-hand side, and then they describe a circular path reaching maximum height as they cross due south, and then they settle and they go what we call they go to their setting phase as they go from above horizon to below horizon in the western horizon. So let me show this this display. And I can speed up the time flow. And then you have the moon. The moon rose in the eastern sky. So this moon, by now you should be able, just by looking at the moon, to identify which phase that is. So this is a nice gibbous phase, more than 50% of the moon. Bring the moon to too much. So more than 50% of the moon is lit by the sun as we see it. I mean, the moon is always 50%, always half of the moon hemisphere is lit by the sun. But we don't see that half hemisphere all the time. We only see when the moon is in the full phase, right? So when the moon is in the full phase is when that half lit hemisphere, the moon doesn't have proper light, is when that half lit hemisphere is turned towards Earth, and then we call it full. But and the new phase is when the hemisphere that is not, it's pretty much in the shadows, is not receiving any of sunlight. When that hemisphere faces Earth, then we don't see the sky, the moon in the sky at all. And in addition to that, the new moon phase is when the moon is very much close to the sun in the sky, and the sun is bright. So you should never look straight at the sun with the risk of damaging your retina. So any other phase is a combination of the moon's position in its orbit around Earth and the configuration basically between Earth, Sun, and the Moon. So this phase is called gibbous phase. More than 50%, as we see it, of the disk facing Earth, more than 50% is bright. And so if you see in the left-hand side, the edge of the moon is very well defined as opposed to the right-hand side. So the right-hand side is kind of in what we call the terminator. The terminator, oops. There you go. So the left-hand side is very well defined, and the right-hand side is not. It's kind of a fuzzy, right, as you see it. So these are called, is one of the waning phase. So the waning phase, the sharp-edged part of the moon is always in the left-hand side, which indicate the sun is somewhere trailing the moon. Is kind of going after the moon, as the moon and the sun describes what we call the diurnal or daily motion, as opposed to the moon basically in 14 days after today, when the moon is gonna, it will have this sharp-edged hemisphere in the other side, in the right-hand side, and in the left-hand side it's gonna be fuzzy and immersed in darkness. So this is a gibbous phase, but the point I want to make is, so as well as the star, the moon also rises in the eastern sky, sets in the western sky, and display this nice, see now Pleiades is rising up, that's the Pleiades rising up, the sun is going to come, the sun also rises in the eastern sky, and at the end of the day it's going to go to the western sky and settle down. There you go. Yeah. Kaboom. And then we are talking about another day, June 24. And this is pretty much Friday night. Is a happy hour. Well, happy hour is over now because we are Saturday, 4 in the morning, and the moon is going to be setting also in the western sky. So this type of motion is called the daily or diurnal motion, and it is the result of Earth rotating on its axis of rotation. So if you did the extra credit, and they are all open, all extra credits this week, they are going to be closing on the 27th, on Monday. So make sure you do them. It's a good points that you can make. They explore a lot moon's phase and eclipses and diurnal motion, basically causes of seasons and all of that. So so again, I will upload a link to a planetarium software, not the Starry Night, but Stellarium software, which is not so much different from this one, from Starry Night. Let me see if I have it available here in just a second. Do I have it? I should have a Stellarian here. Probably I don't. Well, I put the link there for you. Can't find right now. I think I have it. I wouldn't delete it. Should be somewhere here. Okay. So back to the screen. You guys have any question to ask with respect to the course? So next week, so I have 4 of you. As I mentioned in the syllabus, this visitation to the chat room, I would grant some extra credit, and I will do that with you guys today. So you got 4 points just for being here. So next week I will do the same, but I will ask some questions in the quiz. So I will come up with some specific questions on the subject that I will be covering, and primarily we will be very much close to our first exam. So that's going to be my chance to review the subject for exam 1. Although there is not so much I can do in 30 minutes or 40 minutes or so. It would be nice if you guys can send me specific questions, and I can develop answers in the chat room. That would be awesome. Okie dokie. How come you guys, I can't hear you? That makes no sense. I have all participants are unmute. So I don't understand why you guys, I can't hear you. My microphone is working properly. I don't understand. All right, any other question? Although I didn't receive any. Nope. I would like, let me see if I have a, this here. Yeah, and even the texting, I would like to do texting with you, but I don't have the texting here capability. Yeah, so the Zoom is not gonna work with us anymore. I think I'm firing this Zoom software. It's not working. So I will try CC Confer next time, or some other. Google Hangout is better. Google Hangout I use for, but it's limited the number of people I can get there. It's only 10. Lower hand. I got a lower hand here. I got a lower hand. How did you get that? Yeah, I have thumb knowing with a lower hand, and I'm trying to figure out how you did that. Because I don't see any button that I can make use of it. Okay, folks, have a nice one. Email me and let me know if you have any question. And pretty much that's it. So have a nice weekend, and let's keep talking.